How's it going, guys? So this week we have something very, very cool. So for our clients and hopefully our future clients, we thought what would be better than to bring in somebody that actually sells homes. So this week we have Mark Willemsen with Regency. How you doing, Mark? It's a pleasure.
I'm doing real great. I'm fantastic. Thanks, Tyler, for inviting me.
Of course.
I really do appreciate it.
Yes. So now, like I said, you were with Regency. So what actually made you want to be a part of Remax and Remax Regency versus a lot of the other brokerages that are out there?
Right. I understand. It's pretty simple. The biggest thing is its resources and its people. When I first started in the real estate industry, I wanted a company that was 100% focused on training to give me and my clients the best opportunity for success. And even though I'm self-employed, we're a team and we're here for the client. It's not just about me, it's about the client selecting the best brokerage to represent their needs.
Right.
And as you know, when you hire an agent, you're actually hiring a brokerage. It's not the agent. I know it gets to our heads sometimes, but it's actually the brokerage that you're hiring in the end. And Remax Regency, and all of our agents in the brokerage, they all believe in education. And we continue to learn. On a weekly basis, we have meetings and trainings. And those meetings are a little bit different than the norm because they're open discussions a lot of times. And our broker encourages open discussions so that everybody takes something away. And what's really cool is that we have agents that have been selling real estate for 30, 40 years, and they still come to the meetings. Even though they have all that knowledge, and all that groundbreaking experience, they still come because they do get something out of it every time that they do come. And they share with the newer agents. I haven't been doing it for 20 years, but it's an awesome experience to be able to have that. And then every time that we do have these meetings, it allows me to gain more knowledge, obviously, to help our clients to purchase the home of their dreams, at the price that they're willing to pay or accept if they're selling, at the terms that they're willing to accept. So I look forward to the meetings, and we attend them all the time. So it's fantastic. And that's why I really chose Remax Regency in this case, because of the education and the people.
Awesome. So that's really, really cool. I've actually attended a couple of those meetings. They're super, super informative. So, it's really, really cool to be part of that brokerage. Now, what actually, like you said, you haven't been doing this for a long time, but what makes you special? What actually sets you apart from other realtors? Why should a client, whether they want to buy or sell a home, choose you over somebody else?
It's pretty simple, actually, and it's a few things. The first thing is that I answer my phone. A lot of agents do not do so. And then speaking about answering phones, Alan with Movement Mortgage, we've had discussions at 9 o'clock at night. Because he answers his phone as well.
Right.
And because we are a team in a way, I think that's important for the client to understand that if you're willing to answer the phone, you're willing to help them out until the end. So that's one of the biggest things. Another one is that I was in the Air Force for 20 years. Very fortunate to travel to different countries, meeting different people, different cultures, languages, and all those experiences helped me become who I am today, to effectively communicate, in most cases, to my clients. My upbringing and the military also helped me realize that treating everyone fairly, with respect, goes a really, really long way, because they value that in the end. And as you know, the real estate industry, it's a team of professionals.
Oh yeah.
Just like the military is a team of professionals. We in the real estate industry are focused on getting to the closing table, to get to that end of that transaction, whether the person's moving out of their home or you're representing the person that's actually purchasing a home so that they can move in. But everything is on a timetable. And something that the military instilled in me is timetables. I worked in aircraft maintenance, and every day, the airplane had to take off on time in order to get to where it needed to go. So it's very similar situations to where in real estate, you have a timeline that you're dealing with constantly. And one thing I do take serious is we have a term that's called time is of the essence. And I take that extremely seriously because, like I said, you get into that closing table, you bust a date, you could bust a contract.
Yeah.
So you just have to be extremely careful and aware of what's going on. So.
Gotcha. Well, first off, before we move on, thank you for your service. So I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. And something else that actually sets me apart too, Tyler, is that I serve mostly in Fauquier County, but also some surrounding counties as well. I'm in 3 to 5 different counties every week, and I assist my broker with foreclosures.
Okay.
And because he's assigned foreclosures from Fannie Mae, and this helps me become familiar with different types of real estate, the different areas, which has helped me become well-rounded in our industry and the local areas. It also has helped me personally grow in real estate because I have seen many issues dealing with foreclosures that some agents that have been in the industry for 30 years because of some of the issues that are exposed during a foreclosure.
Right.
So I think that brings a lot to the table when a client is searching for an agent to help them buy or sell their home.
Gotcha. Very, very cool. I honestly didn't even know you worked for foreclosure. That's really, really cool. So I wanted to throw in a fun one just to kind of see if I could trip you up a little bit. So what actually is your favorite TV show or movie currently?
Okay. I love watching House Hunters International.
Okay. Realtor, of course.
Yeah. And also the travel aspect. You know, being in the military, traveled quite a bit.
There you go.
I think I got 6 continents under my belt, you know.
Nice.
So yeah, it's great watching the experiences and watch people get into a home of their dreams type of thing overseas.
Yep.
And then also I like watching Shark Tank, the negotiations, and then just seeing people win. I love when people get promoted or win a deal.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's a fantastic feeling to see other people succeed.
Very cool. Now, do you think watching Shark Tank actually might help you in the long term in negotiations with a seller or a buyer or something like that?
I do. I really haven't really thought about it, you know, that much, but I do. The way that they present certain sides of the transaction that they're trying to close. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Now, getting a little bit back on track. So, in your opinion, now obviously, kind of like what I said in the last one, in what makes you different, but what is most important for a client to be looking for in their realtor?
I think the biggest thing would be whether you're a seller or a buyer, you want the agent to be honest. So I think honesty goes an extremely long way. You know, negotiation skills and knowledge obviously are, you know, a real close tied second type of thing. But when you're representing a seller, you want to be completely honest with that individual. You don't want to inflate the price because that's what they want to hear.
Right.
You know, you want to actually give them a realistic outcome. Because by doing that, you possibly could give them a false hope and then crushes their dreams because they're expecting a certain amount. We may have gotten away with that during COVID because prices, as you know, have skyrocketed in some areas. But I don't know if that's going to actually continue. And when you're representing a buyer, we all have different thoughts, different tastes as far as what our dream home actually is.
Of course.
Okay. We're not to infringe on that because that's their dream. That's your dream. That's my dream. But one of the things that I think that we can do as agents, and even though we give a whole list of inspections that we recommend them to do, you know, whether it's well, whether it's septic, you know, radon, whatever it is, home inspection. Even though we give them that list, part of my job, I believe, is also pointing out things as we're walking through the home. Because especially if they're financially, I don't really want to use the word challenged, but if they have a budget, okay, that they have to maintain, they need to be aware that if we can't get that negotiated, you know, in the end in the contract for the seller to repair something, if we're representing a buyer, they need to be aware that they need to repair them on their own at a future date.
Gotcha.
Maybe an issue even during the appraisal. But either way, they need to be aware of that so that they're ready financially to fix and rectify that situation. Yeah, that's about it. No.
Nice. Well, that's a great answer. So I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure our clients and future clients are going to really enjoy that as well. So you kind of already went over it briefly, but we all know that back during COVID times, the housing market was absolutely nuts. It was absolutely insane. Now we're kind of in this transition phase. We kind of spoke about it in our market update a couple weeks ago, but how do you actually feel on where the current housing market is going, how we're currently in? What are your opinions on
Is
that?
it time to go?
No. What is your current opinion on the housing market?
And honestly, I'm not as optimistic as some. I do think that we're possibly going to have a slow year and a half continued. But there is some good news, and there's some silver linings out there that are actually giving us a little bit of hope. Our country right now is facing a lot of headwinds against everything. Inflation, housing market, interest rates, you name it.
Right.
But as we get through those, and until actually some of those things are fixed, I don't see the housing market just taking off again. Things were going crazy during COVID because of everybody wanted to buy a home. People were taking advantage of selling their homes at a higher price.
Right.
Taking advantage of that. Why not? And during COVID, you were seeing contracts for one home. I had heard that somebody had received like 65 offers on a home.
Oh my God.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Not only to deal with that logistically and then, express that to the client.
Right.
But it is crazy. But we're starting to see a slowdown in that. And even though in our area, we had 15 contracts was not uncommon, 20. We're starting to see that slow down a little bit.
Okay.
One is because the buyer pool is lessening because of interest rates. It's kicking people out of the market, unfortunately.
Right.
But by also seeing the decline to where we're only getting maybe 5 to 7 offers on a home, depending on the home.
Right.
Things are starting to shift. We're also seeing, in some cases, home sale contingencies that are actually being allowed in a contract. Which is awesome as well. That means that things are changing. Before COVID or during COVID, you didn't see any contingencies.
Yeah.
People were just signing on a line and, sending in their money type of thing.
Oh yeah.
But now we're starting to see more contingencies, more inspections even. People were waiving inspections even, which is not ever recommended. But people were doing that. And now you're starting to see, okay, yeah, I'll let the person come in that wants to buy this home. We'll let them do a home inspection.
Yeah.
I think it's a wise choice by doing that as well. But things are starting to change because seeing those different contingencies come into play now, whereas before they weren't. I think that's actually a silver lining for the market in the end.
Gotcha.
So hopefully that continues, and more people, because of that, hopefully will put their home on the market because they might be able to find a home now.
Right.
They can have a home sale contingency.
Of course.
And then somebody come in. So, yeah.
Very good, very good. So I hope this kind of opened your eyes a little bit on how a realtor can actually help you. Somebody as great as Mark is, can really battle for you, one, when it comes time to buy a house or when it comes to sell your house. It's super, super important to have the people, the right people for the job, whether it be actually selling the house or people like us at the Tardif team that can help you with your mortgage. So take that and do with it what you will. Hopefully it helps you, but that's going to be it from us today. So from Tyler, from Mark, it was a pleasure. See you next week.
Thanks, Tyler.